So a T-Rex and an even bigger T-Rex walk into a bar, and they're like, "Yo, where's Toho?"
That's so funny. Oh my god. Welcome everyone back to the Serious Mating Podcast, joined by my very serious mating podcast co-host, the Clumsy King.
I thought you were going to say Toho first again.
Yeah, I was going to throw you off a bit. Yeah. And Toho, of course, the real Toho HD. Toho, have you gotten around to calling your subscribers the real Tohos yet? Have you?
I think I posted it, and no one really said anything back yet. I'll get on it next week.
So I think that's
all those audio listeners, all those audio listeners out there. I think it's like you need to know that Toho is currently shirtless, only wearing a tie.
Yeah, and if you want to see that for reals, you can go over to the YouTube. But speaking of the YouTube, we just want to give a big thanks to everyone who came out to the first premiere of the podcast. It was super cool to see everyone. You can see the podcast premiere every Tuesday, Eastern Standard Time at 9 p.m. and Wednesday at 11 a.m. for Australian Centre Time. I think those are the correct time zones. I don't know. Listen, I'm not your time zone.
Australians don't really need to know about it. There's like 12 people in Australia, so
yeah, I forget your country's so small.
Population is here.
Yeah,
it's minuscule compared to like I don't know Zimbabwe.
Yeah. So you really don't care. Your country's very far down the list.
No one cares about Australia.
Yeah, and if they did care about this podcast and they're from Australia, they don't anymore because we just insulted them for the 5th time in like 2 podcasts. So we don't have to worry about them anymore.
Screw Australians.
Exactly.
Am I right, guys?
Yeah, I've been saying this for years. Screw the Amish and screw Australians. Do you guys trust the Amish? Can I just say that? Like
I don't trust anyone with a beard.
Okay, well, I specifically don't trust the Amish because I feel like they've got just something
audio listeners
like
out
hidden.
There. Pecan has a beard.
Yeah, very true. But I'm not Amish.
I'm going to be our audio interpreter.
Thank you.
Just to make sure all the jokes hit.
Yeah, we don't want our jokes to fall
currently
flat.
Going backflips.
But I really just feel like the Amish, people who like don't have technology, like they're always laying low. And to me, that means they have something to hide. I don't trust them. Like they've got to have something juicy like under wraps if they're still okay with using horses to get around. Like there's just something I don't trust about that. But like, enough about that. What, who?
Monkeys.
Why?
Did these come from?
Why?
Because they're like little people, except they're like 10 times stronger than us. Have you seen a shaved monkey before?
Okay.
Have you seen a shaved monkey?
It's like a shaved cat, which is disgusting.
For all those audio listeners, shaved monkeys are terrifying looking. And also the visual listeners, like, we don't have anything on the screen. But just imagine a human that's like real muscly. That's a monkey, but it's like high.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I think shaved cats are like terrifying, but some people find them cute. I don't know. But speaking
shaved bears
of,
are pretty cute.
No, they're what? I've never seen that.
Have you ever seen a shaved shark?
No, all sharks.
No one's ever been able to catch one. That's why you haven't seen one.
You should work for the animal channel, honestly. I feel like you'd really fit in well there. All right, speaking of the premiere, though, if you guys want to check it out, make sure to head over to the YouTube channel, and you can leave a comment under your video, and we will feature your comment possibly in our serious questions of the internet, where we go over the most serious questions. Speaking of which, Toho, I believe, has the question for this week.
Yes, shout out to Sydney for watching and leaving us this question. She said, if you had the option to go to Mars, no strings attached, would you go? A very good topic.
So like this is, I guess, like the first Mars mission, right? To colonize Mars. And like these people are like basically signing away like any chance they might have of returning. Like they're going to live out the rest of their life on Mars, correct? Like, is that the scenario?
Absolutely. I think so.
I mean, as an astronaut, I feel like I'm okay, I'm not an astronaut, but I have been to the Griffith Telescope. I forgot what it's called. It was like 6 months ago. And I did buy.
I don't think that makes you an astronaut, though. Or like qualified to speak on anything. Oh my god.
So I looked the part. So obviously
you would be somebody I'm okay with like sacrificing to start a Mars colony, honestly. Because like if we lose you, I was sad when that robot gave its last message when it was like things are getting dark and its battery was dying. Do you hear about that? The Mars rover, that like sent out that really sad message, like as its battery was dying?
Yeah, he sent it to me, and I gave it to NASA because I'm connected.
Yeah, like I feel
robot.
like I was way sadder when I heard that than I would be if I heard that your colony was like running out of oxygen, you know? So
yeah, the problem is that they'd send me by myself to start a new civilization, and I wouldn't realize until I got there that I needed something else to birth children.
Okay.
Well, I don't.
Okay.
And I just die of old age.
Population is like the thing. I think it's like just seeing if people can live there. Like I don't think you're being sent there to just have sex and just
sounds
make
like a challenge
babies.
to me. And I accept NASA. I accept your challenge.
I think NASA's going to send us a cease and desist letter after this. But I personally, I don't think I would want to go.
We're the number one podcast in the galaxy. Obviously.
Okay, let's say that your family is just completely okay with you going to Mars.
Yep.
You've got nothing left here.
Yep. Right.
And the promise of a new life. How many light years away? I don't know. You'll have to
not that many. I don't think.
But would you do it? How long does it even take to get to Mars? Is it like
a few
would
days?
I be asleep for the plane
maybe a
ride?
month or so. It's like a month. No, I don't think they're gonna cryogenically freeze you. Yeah, I believe it's like a month or two. I could be wrong,
if I would
but I'm
be
probably not.
awake for the whole time, I could barely sit through a flight to America, and that was 14 hours.
You're worried about the boredom?
I held hostage 3 people during all my flights to America because I went space crazy from being like concealed too long. So I don't know what a month is going to do to me.
I don't think that I would want to be on the spaceship with you. Yeah, I don't think I would want to be on your mission to Mars. Like maybe the one after you to like know if you died to like some alien like Mars creatures or like just lack of oxygen and food. Like once I know that it's safe, maybe I'll come visit you, you know?
It only takes 30 seconds to get to Mars, and don't fact check me on that. But I'm pretty sure that's true.
We're never getting Elon Musk on this podcast because of that statement. I want you to know. You've insulted him and you've insulted all of space with your stupidity.
30 seconds to Mars.
Wait, okay. What if you went to Mars and you could get? What if they gave you like $100 million and you could just buy whatever you want and bring Mars with you, but you had to leave everyone behind?
Well, I could just buy like robots and the robots could be my friend, right? Like I can't program my human friends to like do everything I want and like do backflips for me. Like, but I can like program a robot to do that, right? So if I've got all the money in the world, I would just like create a robot army and bring it with me to Mars. And then I would make the robots make other robots. And then I would take over Mars with my robot army. So when Elon Musk and his fleet of Teslas come over to try and like populate Mars more, I would just crush them because my AI would have developed to be such like an outstanding force. Yes, I would crush him with my robotic thighs, dude. And that was a promise. All right. So yeah, if I had all the money in the world, I would 100% use that to my abilities to take over Mars and basically rival Earth and start my own galactic. Yeah, I mean,
I almost feel like you're threatening Earth.
I am threatening all of Earth if they will let me, because like this is only if they let me go, right? Like this is only if they give me money.
I have 3 questions.
Okay.
Toho, how much? What's our budget? What's my budget for getting sent to the Mars?
Let's say 100 million.
Okay,
but you cannot come back. It's a one-way ticket.
My second question: will you come to Mars with me for $50 million?
Dude, like I said, I don't know if I want to risk being on a spaceship with you for like a couple months. Like, how do I know you're not going to go crazy?
Will you come to Mars with me for $51 million?
Yes, 100% yes. That is the extra incentive I need.
Will you come to Mars with me for $49 million?
So you just want to spend all your money to bring us to Mars? You're basically keeping us hostage? We
officially have the #1 podcast in the galaxy.
You know, screw any Spotify deal. We don't need it.
What this means.
We don't need a Spotify deal if we got Mars. Yeah. Yeah, I think I would go if I was secured with 100 million and I could, like I said, build my own space robot army and take over Mars and probably all of the planets, honestly. But what about you, Toho? Would you go? Would you live your life on Mars?
I don't
No,
know.
you can never
Sorry.
come
I
back.
do like it here.
I think you need to rephrase the question. Toho,
Toho, would you rather
back
go
to
back?
Mars?
Yeah, because you're an alien. I think that we're forgetting this
No, I
fact.
like it here. I like it here. No,
That is
I don't
true.
I
know.
like
I
it
don't know.
here.
I
I
kinda,
like the human way.
like
If-
there's no
Winter
beaches
fun.
on Mars, is there?
I
It's
think
just
if there's
what,
no
red
beaches, then
rock?
everything is a beach.
Pretty much
Yeah.
Australia,
Yeah, pretty
right?
much.
But if you got like
Okay.
100
Yeah, Mars
million,
is
you
pretty
could-
much Australia.
if you got $100 million though, you can probably afford to buy like an inflatable pool though and bring it with you. So I think you're fine on that regard, you know. Like, would you leave everyone behind though, Toho, and go back to your home planet of
No.
Mars? Like,
Hard to say. Like, all the families here, but then again, we've got Discord and stuff. We can keep in touch, right?
You know,
I don't know if
I'm doing a little bit of research, and it turns out Mars is pretty much just Australia. Like, it's just one big desert.
do they have
So
kangaroos
it's
on
almost
Mars?
like home. Yeah, of course. If it's a desert, they're gonna have kangaroos and camels and
Oh yeah.
penguins.
Wait, do the kangaroos like wear little spacesuits, or have they evolved? Do you think to like go past that?
If I'm involved, which I probably am because I do work for NASA, they would have little penguin spacesuits.
Well, that's adorable. Yeah,
There's
I would
whales
go
on
just to
Mars
see
as
them.
well, but it's
Why?
just bones because they
Dude.
can't swim.
Oh,
Like they
true.
died.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so sad. Yeah, because Mars, I think, did have like, I think they found like some semblance of water or like what could have been water. So there could have been whales. Who knows? We don't know because we don't live there, but we could live there. But
For $100
speaking
million.
of $100 million, do you guys see the Joe Rogan deal that he got with Spotify for theoretically up to $100 million? It's not confirmed, but like I think Wall Street Journal said that it's like theorized that it could be worth that much money. So I don't know if he's gonna get paid that, but like still, it's a pretty insane amount of money.
Is it just to have his podcast only on Spotify?
It's a multi-year contract for that. Yeah, he said that he's still gonna upload clips of the podcast, I think, to YouTube. I think that is allowed, but the full length podcast of his, which I think can be up to like 3 hours or so, that's all going to be uploaded to just Spotify for the next few years, I believe. And that's pretty much the biggest deal. Loopholes? I mean, like,
what if he just cut his 3-hour podcast into 2-minute segments with like, and just put it in a playlist? So like, can still put the whole thing on.
I think
YouTube.
Spotify has like enough lawyers to get around that, and I think that he'd probably not want to do that to mess up such a important contract. But yeah,
Hey,
I don't
Joe
know how
Rogan.
many clips he's gonna
I know
put.
you're a podcast guy. If you ever want to discuss legal gray areas, I'm your guy. I work for NASA.
I think you should stop claiming things before
Your
we
Clumsy
get sued.
Snickers bar. Well, they're still hot.
Oh my
Legally, not
God.
legally sponsored by Snickers.
Yeah, but this is pretty much
Mars.
the biggest podcast deal that has gone on, and honestly, it's like from what I've seen,
Second biggest.
second biggest. I mean,
my
yeah,
Snickers.
he might have Spotify, but we have Mars essentially. But yeah, for the amount of money that he's theoretically being paid, it said it would take a musician 26 billion plays on like one of their songs to make that amount of money, which is just so incredibly insane, but also kind of points to, I guess, a direction that Spotify is going to like kind of diversify like their library. So like I think most people think of Spotify for music and stuff like that, but it's obviously that they're trying to take a direction to go and get more bigger name podcasts, because I feel like everybody who's got a podcast obviously puts it on Spotify and like Apple and everything, but to try and get like something this exclusive, except for us, working on it, But this is pretty much like one of the biggest exclusive podcast deals that like I've ever seen. And it kind of makes sense for Joe Rogan being one of the most like biggest influencers in the podcast game. But like, I don't know how much he's still going to be able to put on YouTube in terms of those clips, but I've heard that he's still allowed to. Am I asking a dumb question here? But like, does Spotify have video podcasts? Because I thought like a big thing were his like clips, and the fact that like on YouTube he has like a video podcast. Is he able to do that on Spotify, or is that not a thing anymore?
It's probably going to be a thing because sometimes you'll play music and there'll be like a 5 or 6 second loop of the music video.
So
like
this
they have
could
the capabilities to do that.
Yeah, so this could be Spotify trying to take the direction of going into more video-based podcasts, because if this
they
is
started
like
doing that,
this would be the time to do it.
Would you upload videos, like YouTube videos, to Spotify?
They would probably only keep it to podcasts, I would say, because right now that's their only like category in terms of that. And also video hosting is insanely expensive. And that's why I don't think YouTube reports profits, or like hasn't like reported making profit on like YouTube in a while. I don't know if that's still the case. Is that because of us
specifically?
Yeah, pretty much. We upload too much and we just don't make them any money. But I don't think Spotify is got the infrastructure right now to try and take on YouTube in terms of that. But like definitely it could probably dip into having bigger podcast creators on there making like video type podcasts. Like I don't think that Spotify is really, well, they're obviously not known for like that. But if they're spending so much to bring on somebody who's known for podcasts and having a video podcast, you would think that they would want to have the capabilities to make it able to put his video on there to keep people from just going to YouTube to watch those clips, like you said, because like a lot of people are probably used to that at that point. But I don't know. I think it's a pretty interesting direction that they're taking it.
So now we know that Spotify, like that exists, that they're sponsoring. What's it called? Brand sponsorships, brand deals. Do you think we should hold off from uploading to Spotify until it is a brand deal?
I don't think that like that's a factor in it. I think that it. I don't know. I think he's been uploading his podcast. Give me a month, all right? Okay. And I'll see what I can do. We'll see what Spotify sends our way in terms of contract deals. Obviously, Clumsy being the legal expert we have on staff, and also taking all legal responsibilities if we ever do get sued. He will be taking all of those emails and any kind of questions in that. But I don't know. Why would Snickers put my name on a Snickers bar unless they were sponsoring us?
Is good. Anyway, wait, do you guys have Spotify?
Yeah.
What's Spotify?
Well, yeah.
Because you know how there's like that, no, I'm not going to say it, but some people do have Apple Music as well. Like you're not one of those guys.
Ooh, right? No, don't say that. No,
I never use Apple Music.
What's that?
One, that I don't have an iPhone, but two, I just
Spotify. If you're listening, we're your boys,
dude. We were ride or die Spotify.
Do we see a 50-50 Apple Music Spotify thing going on, or do you reckon Apple will fire back with something
another? I mean, we have seen like just in general, people being like, for example, streamers have been getting just bought up from different platforms trying to grow their presence, like Mixer, obviously getting Shroud and Ninja. I think Courage went to YouTube, and some other people like Tim Tabman got signed back to Twitch under contract. So obviously it's pretty apparent that it's becoming the trend of companies to grow their presence, to go after those bigger influencers, because I feel like they're realizing just the importance of influencers in terms of growing their platform.
Didn't PewDiePie sign to YouTube?
Yeah, he did. He did sign back to YouTube for streaming.
So he
was
only
with D-Live.
Streams on YouTube? I mean, when he does stream.
Yeah, he's been doing it pretty often now. But he was with D-Live for a while. And you can see like the impact on that. Like that was like a brand new streaming service, and like having the biggest gaming YouTuber on that platform obviously did well for them. But yeah, I could definitely see like Apple Music or just YouTube even trying to sign in creators to be exclusively uploading their podcasts on there. I don't know who they would go for. I mean, probably us, because we're like the most intergalactic podcast. I don't know. I haven't gotten any emails from anyone.
Number one in the galaxy.
Number one
Spotify,
intergalactic podcast. Obviously,
the only podcast where one of the hosts is literally an alien.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like we have a lot to offer. I don't know why Spotify or Apple Music wouldn't go for us, but yeah, I feel like
bad that we lied.
Pretty much the trend.
We lied about how we met. Because
we lied about how we met?
I actually met Toho when I went to Mars.
Yeah.
Astronaut.
Adding to the backstory, okay.
the secret lore the government doesn't want us to tell. Yeah, I did come from a tree.
And fell on his head.
Yeah, well, I mean, that did come out in my 2K video. That was I just want to clear the air, because I feel like a lot of people weren't taking me seriously when I said that I actually invented pecans, so I don't feel like people get to tell me that I'm saying it wrong like pecan.
Yeah.
No, that's stupid. It's pecan. Obviously, I am one. I invented it. Yeah, that's just this is the backstory that you weren't legally able to tell us.
Can I just say, Pecan, that your audio quality has just like stepped up in like miles in like audio.
Yeah, are you saying that like the two of us have like dope microphones and that our other co-hosts?
What a new microphone.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's great. It's great. I just I wanted to take the whole podcast thing a bit more seriously, you know, because obviously Spotify's going to send us a deal.
For the audio listeners, we were making fun of Toho because me and Pecan have the same microphone, and Toho doesn't.
And that's how you build a friendship. Yeah. Speaking of
and the same bloody headphones as well, right?
Yeah.
And the same audio mixer.
We're just waiting to get sponsored by Sennheiser or by Shure. But speaking of getting sponsored, Clumsy, weren't you telling us about a little story that you had going on in your life where you got stabbed by a vape?
How do we get from
you know, like that transition. So I'm just giving out examples of what we can do, you know, because like obviously Spotify's listening, so I want to like show how good of a transition we can make.
This is a harrowing tale of my first time in Las Vegas.
Because we need to. This is actually how you got a job at NASA, right? They saw how like heroic you were, and they just took you out on the mission immediately. Yeah.
Okay. So, for those who don't know, when was this taking place?
This was just under 2 years ago, I think. So this whole Las Vegas story, or my whole America trip, could be a video by itself. Like, so many things happened, like betrayal. So I was in Las Vegas, okay, and you know how you get to Las Vegas. I don't know if you guys have been to Las Vegas, but it basically smells like a drug. The whole place,
there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Just a bit, really.
So me and Kelly decided to walk, as you do, to all the hotels, stuff like that.
Walking down the strip. Yeah.
And we chose to do it on like a Saturday night or a Friday night when everyone else was drunk but us, because we just got there.
Yeah.
And there's this girl walking down the street with a vape, and she was walking kind of like the co-op characters.
Like she's clearly intoxicated. Yeah, just like limbs flailing.
You know that game where you use the AWSD to like move the arms and legs?
Yeah.
She's like that. And I was walking like 2 meters behind her. I looked away. She's got a vape. It's got like a pointy end. And she just kind of like turns around and goes like this.
She's just swinging it.
For the audio listeners, it's like a baseball player just like full on swinging a bat at me. But it was the sharp end of the vape, and it went into my arm. And I thought I was going to die. It was bleeding.
Oh my God.
I had blood coming out of my arm.
What did you say to her? Did she say anything?
She said, and it was pretty elegant, she's like,
So she was pretty out of it. Did you go to the doctors?
She was 100% out of it. No. But we did end up at the...
You didn't go to the ER or anything?
Unrelated reason. We ended up at the Las Vegas police station.
Okay, so like you still didn't get checked out or anything, like this vape that this drunk person was using, you didn't get checked out of that?
Like sometimes my arm goes numb for like hours, but other than that, there's like barely any side effects.
Yeah, that might be like unrelated. You don't really know.
You got anything there?
Did it leave a scar?
I've grown an extra testicle.
I think that might be unrelated.
Out of the armhole.
Okay. Honestly, I feel like that's a superpower. That's like exactly how Spider-Man got bit by the spider and like he can shoot webs. Now you've got a third nut.
But instead of shooting webs, I shoot like just testicles.
Oh, that's absolutely disturbing.
The size of coconuts.
Jesus Christ. My God. Yeah, so I'm never going to be going to Las Vegas soon. That sounds absolutely terrifying. I would have been like furious if somebody stabbed me with their vape. Like I probably would have.
It was pretty hard to be like angry when I was just like scared for my life.
That's true.
We also saw the Blue Man Group that night. That was pretty cool. Someone gave us free tickets in a hotel lobby.
Oh, that's nice.
What is it? Did you gamble well? Did you make anything that night? Tell us the story here.
There is a few things that happened in Las Vegas. The first was we got to the hotel. We lost our passports, but we didn't realize until 2 days later. So we lost our passports out of the taxi because the taxi driver opened up the door and Kelly's bag fell out and the passports were on top and they went under the taxi. And how we found this out was I was vlogging and I was like recording and I saw the passports on the ground behind us in the footage as we were walking away.
That sucks. That's a pretty big deal, and since also, you don't live in the country.
Yeah. Yeah. And we were flying to New York 2 days later, so that was fun. We also found the exact taxi number and driver's name from my vlog footage mid freak out 2 days later. So I was really winning awards that night.
Jeez.
I never used my vlog footage, but
just to kind of show you should vlog everything. That's how you find out if you lost your passport. But you were able to fly the next few days fine? Like, did you get new passports?
Yeah. Well, the way we found out that we had lost our passports was we were going to see Zed play. And Kelly's like, we should probably take our passports as another, like,
form
identification.
Of ID.
Yeah. And that's when we realized we lost them. So we didn't go see Zed. We missed the Grand Canyon. And we had to take a bus to LA, which was fun. That was like 4 hours or so.
At least you got stabbed, you know? Like, and that made it up for
at least I got stabbed.
Yeah, honestly, that's a good story, you know? Like, it's always about, like, life's about what you can make into a story, essentially, right? It's not about, did you get to see the concert? It's like, no, you get to tell your grandkids you were stabbed by a vape. And, like, that's pretty badass, you know? Like, what do I get to tell my grandkids? I put on a suit jacket and, like, talk to Australians about going to Mars? That's not that cool. Yeah.
Talk to a NASA employee and an alien.
That is a crazy story.
With the whole Modern Family thing, I brushed past it before the podcast started, and I know you're interested. So we get to LA, we get our passports sorted, and we go to a, what are they called? Springfield shopping centers? Like the big one in LA. And that's where I met the Sean, can't remember his last name, from Think Media. I ran into him, introduced myself, and froze completely. And Kelly had to carry the conversation.
Yeah.
And then he followed me on Twitter, which was pretty cool.
Ooh, all right.
Shout out. And then the next day I saw him at the front of a hotel and I ran into him again and I redeemed myself. And we high-fived. The next day we were in LA at the Springfield and I noticed someone I recognized. I don't know if you've seen Modern Family, but I noticed Phil Dunphy and Claire Dunphy.
Ooh.
Just like kind of talking.
Just running into
everybody.
And then
I also noticed cameras behind them. So
so they were filming like at the moment?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So you were in an episode?
I may be in an episode of Modern Family. I haven't gone back to check.
Did you ever check? Oh, dude, you have to go and watch like every episode just to check.
The thought is so much better than the reality.
Right, because like it could be that they didn't use that take or whatever. So like just
But you know how much an extra like me costs?
Nothing.
Like they got a free extra with the face of this.
I'm pretty sure extras just do it to get like it on their resume for the Actors Guild. I'm pretty sure that's what they use extras for. But that's impressive.
I immediately shouted out, "Do you know who the fuck I am?" And they didn't.
And then you were escorted off the premises, right?
Yeah.
Because you were wearing your NASA suit there too.
Have you met anyone, Pecan? Brushed up against anyone?
No, I haven't really run into anybody. I'm pretty boring. I live a very boring life, except for going to Mars and talking to aliens. But no, I haven't
just
really
being a pecan.
Yeah, I haven't really talked or like ran into anybody. But I'm sure if I did, I would probably freeze up just like you did the first time, Clumsy. I feel like everybody just gets a little starstruck. Really?
Yep.
Did you like
on TV one night? I was watching and Jay-Z was on
TV. Okay. Yeah. I really hate you.
So Jay-Z on TV.
Absorbing them out. Yeah. Did Toho have you? Well, you did, right? You want to tell about your encounter, Toho?
I have one for the gamers out there. It was 2013, I think.
We
don't have what they call the what's the E3? Yeah, we don't have that down here. We've got the EB Games one, right? Clumsy, did you check that out back in the day?
I did not. I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right. Well,
So it's just like a gaming convention. All right.
Gaming convention.
Is it Supernova?
It was called the EB Games Expo. I don't know if it's being continued anymore. It's called PAX East now. I think you got PAX in the States, right?
Yeah, we have PAX East. Yeah.
Lining up for the new PlayStation, and I was just 13-year-old me. I was so excited. I was like, PlayStation 4 was coming out. Gee,
were you wearing glasses?
Still rocking glasses?
I might not have been wearing glasses back then.
Whoa, Toho, no glasses. Damn.
For another day. So no glasses. But went in line, and it was like a 90-minute wait to go and check out the new PlayStation.
Dang.
Damn, like this is sick. I had my mate there, and had my dad, because you have to bring your dad.
Also his mate.
Yeah.
And in the distance there was a crowd of people, and we were almost at the front of the line for the PlayStation. We've been waiting for like 60 minutes at this point or something. Saw this crowd, and Dad was like, "You should go up and check what go check out what's going on." And I was like, "Oh, I don't want to forfeit my place here in line," because I knew that if I left, wouldn't get in to check out the PlayStation. Anyway, but my dad, being the optimistic human being that he is, he was like, "No, go check it out. It's probably somewhat interesting. Just go check it." Anyway, so I ditched the PlayStation line. Very unfortunate. I wandered over, and there was an old guy standing there, white hair. I don't know how old he would have been back then. Maybe he's like 50 or 60 or something.
Gandalf?
And he was signing some posters and things, and I saw this guy who was really, really excited. Couldn't quite work out what was going on. And then I managed to slide over one of the little cards that was on the desk, and it read Charles Martinet, the voice of Mario and Friends. This is the guy that voices Mario, Luigi, Wario, Waluigi, Baby Mario, all those guys, right?
Damn, dude.
Dang.
Yes, 13-year-old me probably did freeze up as well, but I just remember, like, he's probably the most iconic guy in gaming history, isn't he? Mario's pretty up there. So
yeah,
I'm unfamiliar with Mario.
That's what?
I only know Mario Kart.
Oh,
so got the little card, got him to sign it, and he like read it out in his Mario voice. And since then, I think that's the best encounter that I've had with someone.
That is amazing. Yeah,
I've still got the little card. It's just there.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Dude.
I met someone in New York when we were there last time.
Who did you run into?
Who was it?
This YouTuber called Pecan. Pecan Gaming.
Oh yeah,
is that like
Pecan Gaming?
Yeah, 10 million subscribers, right?
Yeah, it's pretty.
No, he's not that
guy.
big, but
God,
like I just remember he's a lot shorter than I thought he was.
Oh my God!
And his forehead was a lot bigger than I thought it was gonna be.
All right, okay, all right. Let's just dude.
There's only so much surface area the light can bounce off a forehead, and it just exceeded all expectations. So anyway, we bathed together and made an OnlyFans account. And he farted while we played Twister.
And it was the worst experience of my life. But that's pretty awesome that your dad just had that gamer intuition to like tell you to go check that out. That's pretty awesome. He might have just been telling you to like mess off because he didn't want to stand in line anymore. But no, that is pretty cool that he pushed you to go and do it, and then you met somebody so iconic in the gaming world. Exactly. That's like so awesome.
Moral of the episode: just go and do it. Right?
Just go and do it.
Don't wait around.
I mean, it could have been something stupid, like somebody just broke their leg and everybody's gathering around to watch, and you just miss out on getting to play the new PS4. But yeah, no, that's a pretty cool experience. I've always wanted to go to like one of those conventions. Just to feel like there's just so many opportunities to meet cool people like that. Maybe we'll do.
We'll all go together.
Yeah.
E3.
Hell yeah. The serious mates take on E3. That would be awesome. Speaking of making an OnlyFans, I know Toho, you wanted to talk about a more serious topic here that has been kind of going on, and I guess just well, it's always been going on in the YouTube scene, but I feel like a lot of times recently we've been seeing people talk about burnout, and I myself have made a couple of videos now talking about it. This has no connection to OnlyFans. I just needed a segue. But yeah, I know you want to talk about this, right, Toho? Do you have anything particular that you want to bring up about the subject?
Everyone I feel comes across burnout, and it's quite a difficult thing to to tackle by yourself, especially. I was just wondering if you guys had any tips that you've had, or when you experience burnout that
Right.
you've used to kind of
Right.
get out of that.
I'm kind of
Yeah.
going through like burnout right now. Like for the last 2 months or so, I've been just completely not feeling it. I know I still want to do it, and I
Right.
know eventually I'll like jump back in, but I'm really not feeling it at the moment, like YouTube wise.
Yeah, and I feel like that's like, it's a hard feeling to describe almost, where like you still know you get joy from creating the videos, but you just don't have that feeling, or like, I don't want to say motivation, because not necessarily motivation, I feel, but like you just
Like the
don't have like
fire's
the
still
feeling.
there.
Yeah,
The
'cause
fire's, it's still in there, but it's
yeah,
like almost like someone's thrown a bucket on it, but it's like dwindling, but it's
yeah,
ready to like grow again.
right. I
I
mean,
think it's just after years of like 2 years straight of just you are growing, but it's like at such a snail pace. You start to
right,
wonder if it's worth it and if it's going
right.
anywhere.
And I feel
That's
like
true.
it's very true what you said. Like everybody kind of goes through it, you know. And like this is even just on
Not
YouTube,
just
like any
YouTube.
business,
Yeah.
yeah, like starting up. Any startup is going to start like very slow and take time to pick up and gain momentum. But it's just like with like these type of things, there's no real guarantee. And like the fact that like the future can be so vague, that's what really got me feeling like that type of burnout. Like I wasn't necessarily feeling like that I didn't want to do it for a bit or take a break. Like I was still like having fun making videos, but I just had this like looming fear, because like I have just such a fear of failing. Like I don't want to fail. Like I know it's inevitable and everybody does it, but I just don't want to. So like I just had that vague feeling like hanging over my head of like, what if just nothing happens, or like it just doesn't take off in what I had planned out for it,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just
scary.
yeah, when you like look at the future like that, I feel like it can be really scary, which is why I kind of took it upon myself to take time and really think about things in a different mindset of like doing the vid a day to 10,000 subscriber challenge. I really have kind of changed the way I look at it, and I don't think this will work for everybody, but like making your goal based off something more positive, I feel like can always help in something. So I turned it from this like looming fear of vagueness and like, will I ever make it, into something that like is more of like just like inevitability of time at this point, and for me that feels like way more positive, because it's something more concrete. Like I feel like in other aspects of life that like for like weightlifting or something, like when I have a concrete goal of like you want to like add 5 pounds to your bench, that's something you can work on every week and then eventually you see that happen. Making it on YouTube is something vague, so turning that vagueness into like something concrete, like just hitting a milestone of like 10,000 subscribers, that's something more concrete and like more easily able to work on. So that's like really what I did to deal with my burnout. But sometimes you need to take a break, and like everybody works differently. Like I know, Clumsy, you've been taking a break for a couple months, and I hope that's been helping. Like you said, you still feel that passion, but like sometimes it's just not all the way there, and you don't want to push yourself when you feel like that, right? So like some people just, everybody deals with it differently, so there's no real
just need time to get through it.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. What about you, Toho? What have you done to like kind of avoid it?
It's hard to say. I probably should mention early on in the YouTube career, I don't even know if you call it a career or not, but I did actually full stop uploading to the channel and thought that that was it. I felt like, I don't know, do you get this feeling like the world is against you in burnout? Like
Right.
everything's against you, and you're just like, what is the point? I had the PlayStation going, I had no computer. Maybe I had like 100 subscribers or something, but yeah, not growing very quickly. And I just full abandoned the channel. Didn't think that I'd come back. I think I left it maybe it was like 1 or 2 months. And as you said, yeah, there's this inner passion that you get. It's super weird. Like you'd think not having to upload to a YouTube channel would be, less stress and it'd be better on the other side. There's just something within me that just felt empty, not
Right.
having this little hobby to work on.
Yeah, and that's like
So I've
something
now got
that sorry. No, you go. I just
okay.
sorry.
I don't know. I've got this like mindset that, you know, don't give up, because I'll have that feeling again of emptiness, and just keep going. You just got to just keep going. I like
Right.
that advice of the change, shift your focus.
Right.
'Cause yeah,
Yeah, I feel like sometimes you just get too focused on like just the overall thing, and you realize that it's going to take like a lot of steps to get there. And like I've said, like this is more than just YouTube. It's literally anything, like studying, going to college, starting a business, like whatever. And I've seen it too many times of like other YouTubers just stop, and like you're gonna have to, like I've said before, YouTube is like a creative hobby / outlet. You know, you get joy from creating because everybody has a creative side. You know, everybody wants to do something creative, whether it's like art, painting, writing, singing, music, or whatever, you know? So like you just giving up on YouTube, you're just like, you're going to have to fill it with something else creative, or else you're going to have that void, you know? So like just switching what you're doing and like what you're thinking about it, like maybe you just need to take a bit of like a step back and maybe like try creating a bit less, you know, space out your videos more so you're not really focused on like the day-to-day stress, rather than just like making stuff when you feel you want to make something, you know, and then you'll end up being more creatively inspired. You know, I think a lot of writers, once they like get into it fully, a lot of people talk about like, oh, you have to write like 4 hours a day or something like that. But a lot of big writers don't even write for 4 hours like consecutively. They might do it throughout the day, because you're going to hit like creative block, you know?
Yeah.
You can't always be going at everything full force. And I feel like that's a big thing you have to learn to deal with, or else you're gonna burn out, you know? But
burn out, go crazy.
Burn out, go crazy. Yeah, snap and
sounds like a dance.
Start wearing spacesuits and talking about clumsy Snickers bars now.
But currently 2 for 1. I mean, you can get 2. You can get 1 for the price of 2. Is what I'm trying to say.
Is that an actual deal on your Snickers bars?
All profits go to my wallet.
Okay. All right. Damn. All right. Well,
in hopes of giving Toho a better life.
Because you did get full custody.
Because I'm his father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of did give him up. It was hard to raise a kid halfway across the world.
We're going to get him contact lenses.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. That's good. Yeah, there is a giant ocean kind of separating us, so I couldn't really be a father that I wanted to be. So I hope you're living a good life, Toho. And speaking of oceans...
Sorry. No, I was going to do it.
Sorry. I'm just really good at transitions.
I knew exactly what you were trying to do.
Yep.
I knew exactly what you were trying to do.
So you wanted to talk about the ocean, right? One of my greatest fears.
I want to talk about the deep ocean.
I don't like it.
I did some research, sure. But as you know, I'm pretty like... I don't retain information well.
Right.
And I just wanted to like... My dog's barking. Sorry if you can hear that. What do you guys reckon about the
ocean?
Deep ocean?
It's
like the
absolutely
deep
terrifying.
Ocean.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrifying.
So like,
as an avid player of Subnautica, absolutely terrifying.
Who knows? There could be actual Subnautica creatures. We don't know, right?
Dude, there is. Have you seen like the it's called bioluminescence, I think, is what all the it's what happens when they emit light, like the deep sea
fish
creatures
that emit light, because like it gets to a certain point where it's so deep that the sun's rays don't go far enough after they're refracted. Yeah.
Once you hit 5,000 meters, I think there's no light.
That is insane. So yeah, there's still like so much unexplored territory on the planet, and it's mostly in our ocean. Like we don't know that much about it.
15% of the ocean has been charted.
How deep is the Mariana Trench?
And
16,000 meters, something like that?
14,000 meters, I think.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that's terrifying.
Fact check. One thing we never do on this podcast.
We don't fact check, smack check.
It only takes 30 seconds to get to Mars.
Yeah, Jesus. That's why they made the band about it. Yeah. They wouldn't make a band about it if it wasn't true. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's crazy that there's just so much that's unmapped. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did.
I was full watching a movie last night. It was a bit of a horror movie.
Finding Nemo.
Scariest
deep water movie. Me like on the Mariana Trench, and
Yeah.
the characters, I think that they drilled into a. Oh,
Are you talking about the one with Kirsten Stewart?
Yeah. Did you see it?
Yes.
And
I often think about that movie.
They drill into a, what is it? Like a
They drill
something.
They drill into the Marianas Trench, but there's like almost like a solid cloud
Right.
at the
Yeah, I
bottom of
remember
it,
this.
and it's just another floor.
Right.
And then once they discover, like once they put a hole in it, it's too late. They've already put a hole in it, and then all the hellish creatures from down there have a way to get out.
Right.
But that's not a problem for them because they go in it like idiots.
So yeah, it's like the theory that like it goes so deep and we can't reach that depth because of the pressure would just like crush anything. That we don't know if there's still like dinosaur, like the giant sharks, right? The megalodons down there or something crazy like that, just because we can't explore. And like you said, like that's just another layer that we haven't gone through. But basically because like light doesn't go that far down, like we can't know for sure. So it's like just that mystery. Like I would like to think that we would know if there was something down there. But have you guys heard about the bleep, the little blip audio recording that was like recording from a few years ago, I believe.
The Marianas Trench.
I don't know where it was, but like they just
they SCP when you talk about like the Mariana Trench and Challenger Deep, which is like the bottom.
Yeah,
is what they call the Challenger Deep.
Yeah, but it's like they recorded some audio that's just like a little like bleep, like almost like from like a submarine, like or something. Oddish? Yeah,
in a Pokédex.
God damn. Yeah, so they haven't been able to like identify what the sound was or what could have made it, and like that just adds to the mystery of like what the hell is down there, you know? So that's like what's scary to me about it.
Yeah, it's messed up. It's like it's literally talking about SCPs, like just made up stuff, but it's like stuff like that actually exists down there. Like it's messed up.
Like, because if life is to exist in such a harsh environment, it will have to have evolved traits that allow it to do so. Like you see those fish that look terrifying, that have a little light in front of their face, like stuff like that exists down there. And I feel like the further down we go, if life does exist down there, which it probably does, they'll just have evolved to be like absolutely terrifying creatures. And
have you seen like the weird ones that that die and then they float to the top somehow without getting eaten on the way up, and then they wash up on like the Chinese beaches?
No, that sounds.
Because there's some messed up looking things that like have surfaced on beaches, like washed up.
God,
they're like completely like albino, like all void of color because
there's no
how far down they are.
I'm not saying search it up, okay? You didn't hear that from us.
But there's like one of them was like a massive snake.
Oh,
I knew one of you was gonna laugh. There's like a massive snake, and it just had like the weirdest looking head, like
I mean, that literally, like you said, is an SCP. Like 3000, I think it is. There's just the like huge, long eel like creature, and like the fact that like there's so much of the ocean still unmapped, and like something that big could theoretically just be sitting down there. You know, like what if something died that was so huge, just the weight like isn't allowing it to surface or something, or it's just chilling down there, just waiting to get discovered. You know, that's terrifying. Like when I say I have a fear of the ocean, it's not really of like the creatures, because most fish, like it's like sharks don't really kill many people. Like I'm not scared of that.
I chased a shark once.
Like, what? You chase a shark? Like in a boat? Okay. What?
When I was snorkeling, and there was a tiny little reef shark.
Oh, so you were in the water with it?
It was shark shaped. Like it was probably like this big.
Yeah, that shark was shark shaped.
Yeah, it was shark shaped, and it was swimming. Like it was probably like 15 meters away from me. And when I first saw it, I got scared, and then I was like, "That's a tiny shark," and then I swam after it. But until I realized, hey, if that's a baby shark, wouldn't there be like a mama shark somewhere?
That's the same thing happened to me. Like
then I basically ran across the water back to the beach.
That's terrifying. I was fishing once on a boat, like with my family. I was a kid, and like I caught like this baby shark, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's cute. It's like a little baby shark." We were about like everyone was taking pictures or whatever, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, "Yo, I just kidnapped some child essentially," and like the mama shark's probably like, "Yo, where the hell is my kid?" And if they see us all holding up by the boat, that thing is about to attack the boat, you know? So I'm like, yo, put it back in the water. Like, I'm freaking out, like, put it back in the water. Like, that's just terrifying. But like, my main fear of the ocean isn't that. It's not like things that we know about. It's the fact that there's so much
unknown.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like the last great mystery of the earth, I think. Yeah, what you got?
I get scared if I'm in a pool by myself.
Just a pool? It's like an above ground pool or like in ground pool? Like what are we talking about?
Like an in ground pool.
Okay.
If it's like a tiny above ground pool, I'm all right. But if I'm in, like, I was in my parents' pool a few weeks ago by myself, waiting for whoever else was coming to like come into the pool, and they were all inside, and I jumped in first, and I was like, wow, like the water was here, so all you can see is a reflection of the sky, and I was like, I can't see under the water. And that terrified me.
Okay, so it's not like a thing of
I didn't do a crocodile check before I jumped in.
That's an actual like, thing though, right? Yeah, because I know in Florida it's the same because they have just like gators just like everywhere in Florida. So that's like the same thing. Like you have to check your pool. So I didn't think about that. Like I thought you meant
it was also just after I watched that Kirsten Stewart movie, and I was imagining those little aliens in there.
Oh.
It was called Underwater, that movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Go check it out.
It's no. I will never go in a pool in Australia now. Thank you for giving me that warning.
An uncommon fear. It's an irrational fear.
Yeah, no. I feel like if you're in an area that has a lot of gators, you know, I think that's pretty rational, you know, because like if some crocodile is just like chilling, walking through your neighborhood, and then he goes in your backyard, and it's like, yo, there's a little pond here. I'm gonna go in it and just chill because they do that. You know, you wouldn't really know. And I hate to be like adding to your fear. But yeah, you should probably check the pool before you jump in it, you know? That is
You know what you should also do before you jump in the pool?
Put on your swimming trunks.
The pool. Shut the gate. Teach your kids to resuscitate.
I'm not singing that.
Is that
an Australian thing?
That's an Australian thing? Oh.
It's almost like our national anthem.
Oh wait, so what is this for? What is this? It's for pool safety?
It's like, swim safety.
Oh, you guys have like regulations and like safety videos and stuff there? I thought you guys didn't have laws.
Do you not have to have a fence around your pool? Like, it's illegal not to have a fence around your pool with a gate.
No, I don't like if it's in most people's backyards are fenced in, so your pool itself doesn't have to have
everyone
fence,
has a fence. If you have a fence around your whole yard, you still have to have another fence around the perimeter.
No, we don't have to do that. No. And yeah, there's like no regulations of that, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no. We don't care about safety. It's all, you know, whatever you want to do. Because we're about freedom here.
How many kids drown in America then?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it is like a big thing. Like, I didn't have like an in-ground pool. Like we just had a little inflatable one, but like whenever I would go over somebody's house with like in-ground pool and I was a kid, my mom would always yell at me if I ever went near it because she's like, I'm going to drown. But yeah, I guess they could have just put up a fence and it probably would have probably been a lot easier.
I can imagine you drowning as a kid.
That's
just being too stupid to like understand.
Yeah, I mean, it is a little surprising I've made it this far in life. Cool? But you know what? We've also made it through another episode of the Serious Mating Podcast. That's right. We're running out of time. Thank you all for joining us.
And I'm running out of camera battery.
So thank you all for listening. Yeah, thank you. Let us know your thoughts on any of the topics
in the galaxy.
And make sure to leave your questions for the hard-hitting questions of the internet. And maybe yours will be featured in the next video. But thank you all for joining us. And, the music's kicking back
Clumsy.
in. Oh, yeah. I'm still going to dance. I'm still going to dance. I don't care if it's cringy.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we're dancing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're dancing.
Oh, I hope you put music in this.
Yeah, I hope I do too.